Hey everybody! Well, today I thought we could take a look at another interesting and obscure prop. Now, I managed to acquire this piece, and it is an actual screen-used prop that was used on the TV show and movies of Alien Nation. Alien Nation, which I think ran from 1989 to 1990 for the series, and then they had 5 separate movies that were later broadcast somewhere in the 90s, if I can remember. Now, I never watched the show, to be honest with you. I remember it being on TV occasionally whenever I'd be watching it TV, but I never really watched the show. I think I tried watching it, but it wasn't something that really interested me. And it was just a short-lived series, and then I guess they did movies afterwards. So this thing here is really cool. It's all metal, and as you can see here, there's a bunch of like LED displays right here. It's got this interesting looking blue frosted plastic that's on there, like these 2 prongs. It's got this black material on here. It looks like it feels rougher than this part of it. I'm guessing that's painted. And then you can clearly tell this was production used because it's got a lot of wear on it. See all this stuff going on? There's some scratches in the black right in there. Let's see if I can get some good lighting on it. There's a really long scratch running down it. Let me see if I can find it. I'm not sure it's going to show up on camera. I mean, there's scratches all over this thing, which is typical of production use, which is the way that these kind of things end up, because they're pretty abused on the set. Here is some more kind of gouges out of this black tape. It's not like super heavy, but it's got a little bit of weight to it. You'll notice there's a little button right here. I'll show you what that does here in a second. And then there's also this interesting looking knob back here. This is actually the on-off knob. Now you'll notice there's an inscription right there. It says SP1995 is what that says. It's engraved in the metal, and this says Neotech. Now I believe Neotech is the gentleman who made this prop, and I think he's got a Facebook page too. I'm not on Facebook, so I don't really know. I think he talks about this on the Facebook page. But if you guys have any information on it, you can certainly leave some comments in the comment section, because I'm always interested to know about all this stuff. There's a hex screw right here, and there's another one on the other side. When you undo the hex screws, there's a 9-volt battery that's inside here. That's what powers this. And then this is just some Phillips screws, and there's just some wires down inside there. But it's really cool. But the thing is I'm not sure which episode or episodes or movies this thing was used on, so I'm going to have to go through and see if I can try to find the scene or scenes where this was used. And I was also told that this was used in other shows and movies, so it was like reused. It was rented out by Neotech. This keeps rolling off the table, that's why I'm using this piece of wood right here. So Neotech, the gentleman who made it, said he rented it out for other productions and other movies. So if you guys have seen this in other productions or movies or whatever, please chime in the comments. I would love to know what other shows that this ended up showing up in. But I'll see if I can try to get through some of the episodes of Alien Nation and find out where this was used. I should go ahead and show you the light functions on this, because they're pretty cool. So this knob is actually an on-off knob, and it has a slight click when you turn it on, right like that. And when you turn it, it adjusts the intensity of this light bar right here. So as I'm turning it clockwise here, you'll see that the lights increase on the little display right there. You can go all the way to the top. You can turn it up and down and adjust it just like that. And then, I'll go ahead and turn it all the way up right here. And then this button here on the side, where is it? Right here. When you push that, that's what lights up these blue prongs up here. Now let me see if I can turn this down, because you're not going to be able to see it in the light. Okay, so let me go ahead and push this. See how those light up that blue color? It's really neat. Now as I'm pressing these lights here adjust, so you'll see right here. See how they kind of go downward? It's almost like, I think it was described as a prod of some kind, is what I was told. It's some kind of a prod. And so I'm guessing when they push it into people or something, it exudes a whole bunch of power or something, and that's why the power level drops. And if you turn this down a little bit, down to like here, anywhere on anything, it'll adjust for that. See how the light The LED bar graph goes down for each part of it. You can turn it all the way down to here if you want, and then it'll go all the way. It just kind of blinks a couple of segments right there. So it's really neat. Whoever did the circuitry for this put a lot of effort into it. It's really neat looking. I absolutely love this thing. Alright, now let's see if I can try to find the scenes or scene that it was used in. Okay, after going through countless hours of the episodes and the movies, of course it ends up being the last movie, the last one I checked out. So this is the Udara Legacy, that's the name of the movie. Now you can see the guy is holding it right here. It looks like there was two that were used that were hero props because they had the lights. One looks like it has the red lights at the tip, and then the other one has the blue lights, which this one is. So as we can see here, now you can kind of see that the light is kind of going up and down, so the guy's probably pressing the button down here. But it doesn't look like the tip is lighting up. Maybe it is, I can't quite tell. It's kind of a dark scene. And then you can kind of really see the light kind of moving up and down right there. It looks like they are probing people or scanning them. I'm not exactly sure what's going on right there. And then about a minute later we see this again. Now I think that's the blue tipped one, the one I have. See, now this guy is, it looks like there's a red light, but he's doing it really quick right there. So it's in a very brief scene, very brief scene. Okay, so I paused it here at the beginning of that scene. So this is clearly the blue lit tip one. So they must have had two. There was a blue one and a red one. So the blue one seems to be in the foreground for this scene, and then the later scene as well. So now that we know that when you press the button here, that light goes up and down, the LED lights right there, that's what he's doing. He's pushing the button, because you'll notice the blue light went off at the tip when the lights went back up. And then in that later scene, we can see that those are in fact the blue tipped ones right there. So that means that that one, you can see the red light coming off the tip of that one. So I guess they made two of those props, is my guess. One red and one blue. Okay, so I just noticed something here. Now, if you notice, there's this kind of detail going on up here, these little rings. The one I have is a solid aluminum, which means that this is some kind of a dark cover that they had over the interior of it, the part that I have. So since this was used on other shows and movies, they obviously had altered it in some way or another. So this outer casing that we're seeing here is probably something that was removable. They could actually take it off. And then whatever it was used in the last production, they just left it the bare aluminum that's underneath there. Very interesting. And looking at this scene here, this is the red one, you can really get a good look at whatever that casing is that's on the outside of it. So it looks like it's made of maybe rubber or plastic. Obviously it's removable, as mine doesn't have that anymore, but it's very interesting how you can kind of see that. You know, it's such a dark scene, you don't really get to see a good close-up of it. So that was very cool to see how they used this in that show. It's interesting how it had that cover on it originally, because it's such a beautiful looking piece without being covered. You know, as I said, it was used in other shows or movies, and I would love to know what the other productions were that they used this thing in, because it's really a cool, unique looking thing. I really love this thing. But it's a shame that they hit all this nice detail. I mean, this is really, really nice stuff that they did on here. But, you know, this just goes to show you that, you know, some of the props they make on shows are pretty cheapy looking. And when you see them in real life, you're like, wow, I can't believe that they made this the way they did and got away with it on screen. But then you get a piece like this and you're like, wow, they really put a lot of effort into this. And, you know, once again, as I mentioned, these the people that make these props, you know, they put a lot of effort in and work into these things, and then they only get a few minutes or seconds, really, of screen time, which is kind of a shame. Although, like, whatever this was used on before, or afterwards, I should say, it would be interesting to know. Maybe it was used in a much longer scene or something like that. But I don't know. It's really cool. I wish I knew more about it. But if you guys know, like I said, please comment in the comments, because I would love to get more information on this. But that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I thought I'd share it with you and find that you might find this interesting. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'd very much appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next video. So, oh, that's cool. I'm hitting the button right there. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video, and have a good one.